I've talked about what the Glassboro-Camden Line is and why it's important for South Jersey. Now I'd like to discuss how each station can benefit its surrounding neighborhood. I originally started an Excel spreadsheet to categorize every discernible point of interest around each station, until I realized that would be wildly exhaustive to complete and incredibly boring for the viewer. Instead, I'll note some highlights around each station. Where applicable, I'll note how the stop can benefit riders from that neighborhood. Before I start, a disclaimer. I'm fairly familiar with most, but not all of these areas, so will be biased towards spots that I either know personally or can find easily on Google. It is by no means a comprehensive list, and I encourage you to search around for what applies to you. Let me know in the comments if I missed something important. My goal is to focus on food, obviously, but also public spaces, accessible health destinations, government services, and large employers. Basically, the main spots that can draw ridership to each area. Also, the GCL documents promote both bike parking at stations and ridership by bicyclists. Safe pedestrian and bike infrastructure is woefully poor in most of South Jersey at present, so I'll make note of what seems within a reasonable walking distance and try to mention what appears within a safe and sensible biking distance, especially for larger employers or points of interest. Enough preface, let's get started. It goes without saying that the namesake Northern Terminus Station is largely important to the line, for both arrivals and departures. It provides direct connections to 25 regular and seasonal New Jersey Transit bus lines, the New Jersey Transit River Line, and the Patco High-Speed Line. Through these, secondary connections are available to additional local buses, the New Jersey Transit Atlantic City Line, Trenton Transit Center for New Jersey Transit and Amtrak, and through Philadelphia to regional national bus lines, the entire SEPTA network of buses, trolleys, subways, regional rail, Amtrak, and the Philadelphia Airport. Walter Rand is within walking distance of the Cooper University Hospital campus, the Rowan School of Medicine, the Kip Cooper Norcross Academy, Camden City Hall, the Camden County Courthouse and Jail, the Camden U.S. Courthouse, the Walt Whitman House Historic Site, the Camden County College Camden campus, and several local restaurants. This also provides the straightest path to the Ben Franklin Bridge pedestrian walkway, since one would need to walk a tunnel underneath the bridge approach to access the north walkway. At the time of this writing, the south walkway is closed due to construction. It's possible to walk to the waterfront destinations of the Adventure Aquarium, Camden Children's Garden, Wiggins Park, Battleship, New Jersey, and whatever the Waterfront Entertainment Center is called this year. But it's a bit long and easier to take the River Line if it's running. The same goes for parts of the Rutgers University Camden campus. The Lanning Square station is intended as a walk-up station to serve the nearby residential area. The main businesses are neighborhood establishments and small markets. For commuters, it could be a short bikeable distance to the Campbell's Soup Company, New Jersey Transit Bus Garage, Subaru headquarters, and the KIPP High School. The South Camden Station site is close to a large number of townhomes and apartments, intended to serve as both a walk-up and park-and-ride station. Some nearby points of interest are the South Camden Theater Company, the Camden Fireworks Art Gallery, and the Camden Shipyard and Maritime Museum. Commuters may also find it easy to bike to the KIPP Sumner Elementary School, the Camden County Sewage Treatment Plant, and other industrial areas along the river, including the Port of Camden. The Gloucester City Station will provide both park and ride and walk-up access, as it sits in a densely populated area near the center of Gloucester City, but is also within a short drive of the nearby towns of Brooklawn and Mount Ephraim. There are a number of businesses within walking distance, as well as a small park. Some may find it easier to bike or ride share to its main recreation area, Proprietors Park, or some of its more well-known restaurants closer to the river, though the entirety of Gloucester City is generally in a 15-minute walk from the station. Commuters can utilize this station to get to several local public and private schools, as well as the Port of Gloucester. While the Westville station is called Crown Point Road, it will actually sit off of Broadway. It looks to be a largely park and ride site with plans for 224 parking spots. With that said, Westville is fairly walkable, although the smaller western portions are dissected by the highway merge of Crown Point Road with Gateway Boulevard, and the pedestrian access between these areas and Broadway is less than ideal. All in all, the entirety of Westville is within a mile's distance from the station, and biking from anywhere in town to the station is not unreasonable. As a destination, Westville has a variety of restaurants and bars up and down Broadway, a brewery, a scenic park, and a long-standing local bakery. There are also multiple community events throughout the year held in various parts of town, mostly along Broadway or in Thomas West Park. It would also be only a few blocks to travel for employees of the local elementary school. Woodbury is one of the 3 areas well established along the line, with a lot to offer from both stations. The Red Bank Avenue station covers the north end of the city, with walk-up access and some parking. The area is mostly residential, and certainly within biking distance from several area apartment complexes. There's a number of restaurants within a few blocks of the station. Within a half a mile, one can find a popular local diner, a deli with highly rated cheesesteaks, a great breakfast spot called Bagel House, and most importantly, a train-themed brewery, 8 and Sand Beer Company. I can personally recommend those last 2. Closer to the station, there's a YMCA and a local park with scenic lake views. For commuters, it's not far to a few local schools, as well as multiple doctor's offices and the Inspira Health Center of Woodbury. The line could also provide increased access for patients of these health services. The Woodbury station sits close to the center of town. It provides parking and walk-up access to the line for a large swath of residents, and is notably close to an independent senior living complex. For those coming to Woodbury on the line, there's an excellent little eatery simply called the Woodbury Station Cafe along the tracks. A short walk over to Broad Street gets you to a host of food options of many styles. Aside from food, there's the Gloucester County Historical Society, plus a few indoor and outdoor event spaces. In particular, Lot 323 has recurring events, and the city also holds a few public events near the center of Woodbury throughout the year. There are shops for records, reptiles, clothes, antiques, tattoos, secondhand goods, and my favorite, the Nerd Mall. In addition to business, some area public buildings include the Gloucester County Courthouse, Superior Court, and Administrative Building. Commuters can have easy access to all of these, as well as local private and public schools, and the nearby senior living and nursing complex. Woodbury Heights doesn't have much near its station. There's a small park, an ice cream shop, and a convenience store right by the tracks, plus a popular local pizza chain not far away. What it does have to offer, though, is access for a ton of local residents. Employees commuting to this station could access a few local public and private schools, plus a number of businesses along Mantua Pike. Of particular note, the Gateway Regional High School, about 7/10 of a mile away, plays host to the biannual South Jersey Geek Fest, run by the aforementioned Nerd Mall. Wenonah doesn't have a planned station yet. I'd hope it does in the future, though, as it has a bit to offer. There's a deli, a great former coffee shop which just reopened as Daily Grounds Coffee, a hair salon, a park, and 2 yoga studios. It also has service from the New Jersey Transit 412 bus along Mantua Avenue. Most notably, though, Wenonah has a huge and scenic trail network. Let's hope for an infill station. The Mantua station on Mantua Boulevard will be a park and ride. And that's it, really. It's in an industrial area with a few moderately sized sites for commuters to access. There will be a lot of parking spaces for folks from Mantua and nearby towns, namely Wenonah. There are no easily walkable small shops or restaurants from this station. The Sewell station sits in the center of Mantua's main section, known as Sewell, along the road known as Center Street. The GCL website identifies it primarily as a walk-up station, and rightfully so. It's in one of the densest parts of Mantua with an organized block layout. There are a few well-rated restaurants right near the station, with a few small businesses near the site, and room for more in the area. While it's no easy walk, it's certainly bikeable to the nearby community college, Rowan College of South Jersey. Bike commuters could also easily access an elementary school, storefronts, and a Target. This one's park and ride. The website says walk up, but the only road even remotely walkable has a handful of houses, and no major businesses are easily accessible from the site. This would be a great park and ride for a bunch of people from Mantua, Pitman, and nearby Washington and Harrison townships. Even parts of Glassboro and Elk Township wouldn't be far, and is close to Route 55 for more distant commuters, plus it will have 381 parking spaces. Pitman is arguably the most important town on the line, and rightfully so. It was founded as a religious retreat camp for those coming in on the railroad. As a walk-up station, it can serve many residents in Pitman's dense core, though those on the outskirts who'd look to park may find other stations easier to use. Local boardings aside, Pitman is a huge destination and stands to draw a boatload of foot traffic from the line. Plus, Pitman parking just sucks. There's not nearly enough, and it fills up quickly, especially for large events like its food truck festivals or biannual craft fairs. Parking lots and event shuttles near the Mantua Pitman Station site, ironically, just aren't efficient. Near the station, there is much to offer on Broadway and the surrounding blocks. There's an historic theater, food, coffee, a bookstore, food, a bakery, home goods, food, art, and more food. Winter also brings events in Ballard Park at the center of town and an iconic light display in the Pitman Grove section. There are also markets and events in the historic Sunset Auditorium about a half-mile from the station. I could go on and on about the borough, but suffice it to say, its business district is well situated to have a train station return to Pitman. Also sure to garner some of the line's top ridership is its other named town, the borough of Glassboro. The North Glassboro station is situated on and gives access to the Rowan University Glassboro campus. It's designated as a walk-up station, but also borders two separate Rowan University parking lots. One would imagine Rowan might offer up a few spaces for the line, but that may be difficult to enforce with the amount of car traffic that Rowan sees. It stands to reason that the existence of the line would have a positive effect for commuter traffic, specifically for commuting students. Staff and students could also connect here to the Rowan shuttle. Obviously, the station can serve commuting university staff as well as employees of a nearby high school, assisted living, and apartment complexes. Residents of the local apartments, neighborhoods, and of course, on-campus students can use the line for travel towards Camden, Philly, Trenton, New York, and beyond. Along with North Glassboro, the Glassboro station stands to be one of the busiest on the line. The southern terminus will require a rebuild of track leading towards the former Pennsylvania Reading Williamstown branch, which will then curve northwards to a station just south of an existing public housing building for residents with mobility assistance needs. As with all stations, this one will offer accessible boarding, but can be of particular benefit to those in such close proximity. In addition, it's convenient to a large area of single-family housing, as well as student and private apartments. This station has the potential to receive a great deal of foot and bicycle traffic for boardings. There's also a small amount of parking, and public lots are available nearby. The main draw of this station will be its proximity to downtown Glassboro, about half a block from the station. The High Street corridor has a number of food options, plus a brewery, Axe and Arrow, which is my personal favorite. High Street also has the Heritage Glass Museum, with knowledgeable staff to showcase the importance of glass blowing and manufacturing to the region's history. Just north on Main Street, one can find a pizza place, a comic book store, and the local landmark Angelo's Diner, built in 1951 by the Coleman Corporation in Newark, New Jersey. A little further will get you to a large local landmark bar named the Landmark Americana. While it was once infamous as a college bar, this location was acquired a few years ago by a reputable local restaurant group, and they've worked to build the image in line with the performance of their other brands. Also within walking distance is Peter & Sons Sandwiches, where they create some mad science combinations of food with Philly-style recipes. This place deserves its own video, so keep an eye out for that. The nearby Glassboro Town Square is a hotbed of activity, with a myriad of diverse public events year-round. Further north along Rowan Boulevard, one can reach a comprehensive array of food and drink options, as well as several medical offices. It goes without saying that friends visiting or students returning to the dorms along Rowan Boulevard could save the drive by coming through the Glassboro Station. This station is quite close to the southeastern locations of the Rowan University campus, the Rowan Art Gallery, the Glassboro Police Department, and the Glassboro Public Library. Commuters could easily get to these locations, as well as the multitude of aforementioned housing complexes, businesses, and medical facilities. In closing, I hope I've provided a small understanding of how the Glassboro-Camden Line can enhance the success of South Jersey. As not just a commuter alternative, the line can enhance the prosperity of the residents and industries in all neighborhoods along its path. Thanks for watching. Follow along for more about Glassboro, Camden, and beyond.